Hi, I'm Vasila. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a realistic eye step by step using very minimal tools. If you are a beginner and you only have an HB pencil, don't worry. We can do this entire drawing with just an HB
I'm
pencil.
using HB, 4B, 8B and a blending stem. But the very important thing is that if you only have an HB pencil, that is more enough. Instead of using this blending stem, you can use tissue or a cotton bud. First take your HB pencil and draw a simple circle. This circle represents the eyeball. Now draw a horizontal line through the circle. On the top of the circle, draw a soft curved line for the upper eyelid. Below that, draw another curve for the lower eyelid. Don't try to make it perfect. Simple shapes are enough. Inside the circle, draw a smaller circle for the iris. In the center, draw a smaller circle for the pupil. Now gently erase the extra guidelines. Refine the eyelid shape and add the tear duct at the inner corner. Leave a tiny white spot for the highlight. Don't shade that part. Before we start shading, let's add the lines above and below the eye. Using my HB pencil, I am lightly drawing a curved line just above the upper eyelid. Now below the eye, I am adding a light line for the lower eyelid edge. Now we can lightly shade along these two lines using HB pencil. I am keeping the shading very soft just to build a base. No dark shading here, this is only to suggest depth. We can always go to darker later. Now take a blending stem. Blend the shading gently, don't rub too hard. This will smooth the graphite and give a realistic look. If you don't have a blending stem, you can even use tissue or a cotton bud. Now let's move to the pupil and iris. Using an HB pencil, start by darkening the pupil. This should be one of the darkest area of the eye. Make sure you leave the highlight white, don't shade over it. Next for the iris, use light strokes starting from the pupil. Follow a round circular direction, not straight lines. Keep this as the first layer. We will add more depth later. Using my HB pencil, I gently darken the line of the upper eyelid. Now let's shade the white part of the eye and the tear duct. Using an HB pencil, add very light shading inside the eye white. Remember, it's not pure white. Keep the pressure soft and focus more near to the corners. For the tear duct, add a slightly darker tone, but don't overdo it. Now use a blending stem to blend everything smoothly. Now I am switching to a 4B pencil to refine the eye a bit more. First I am darkening and refining the upper eyelid. This part is always darker because of the eyelashes and shadow. Next I will add a little shading to the tear duct. After that I refine the lower eyelid, keeping it lighter as compared to the top. Now I am just refining the lines above and below the eye. I am lightly outlining the pupil to lock in the shape. Then with a small stroke, I will add some detail inside the iris following a circular direction. Remember, if you don't have a 4B pencil, you can do all this with just an HB pencil. You just need to apply more pressure and build the layers slowly with the HB pencil. Now I am adding some light shading above and below the eye to give it a more realistic look. I am using my 4B pencil very lightly, just soft strokes. After that, use a blending stem to blend everything smoothly so that there is no harsh lines. This shading helps the eye sit naturally into the face. Now I am switching to my 8B pencil. I am making the pupil much darker to add strong depth. Then I'm adding a few stroke lines into the iris to make the eye look more realistic and beautiful. Next, I am giving darker shading just below the upper eyelid. This is the shadow of the eyelashes. I will also add very light shading inside the eye for extra realism. Finally, I will add some soft shading above and below the eye to give it more realistic. Blend everything smoothly using a blending stem. If the blending becomes too dark, don't worry. I am using an eraser to leave some graphite, creating a small white areas, and then blend the remaining parts again for the smoothness. Now let's draw the eyelashes. This is a very important step because it really makes the eye look more beautiful and realistic. Start with the upper eyelid first. Using your darker pencil, draw cute confident strokes starting from the lash line and moving outward. Don't draw all these lashes straight. Slightly curve them and change the length so they look natural. The lashes near to the center are usually longer and shorter towards the corners. Once the upper lashes are done, move to the lower eyelid. Here keep the strokes lighter and fewer. Lower lashes are always thinner and shorter, so don't overdo it. Take your time with this step. Good eyelashes can completely change the look of your drawing. Now let's move on to the eyebrow, which is a very important part of making the eye look realistic. First, I am using my HB pencil and very lightly drawing the basic shape of the eyebrow. Once the shape is done, I start adding small light stroke inside the shape. Always remember, draw the strokes in the direction the eyebrow hair grows. Now I am using a blending stem to gently blend these strokes. After blending, I switch to the darker pencil. Here I am using 8B, and now I draw the eyebrow hair more clearly. These strokes should be sharper and more confident. One very important thing to remember is that when drawing eyebrows and eyelashes, your pencil must be sharp. This makes a huge difference. Also, all guidelines and sketch lines should always be drawn lightly. I'm drawing a bit darker here only so that it's clearly visible on my camera. Now we are moving to the final touch-up. Using a light HB pencil, I'm adding very soft shading wherever it feels needed. Below the eyebrow, around the eye and slightly under the lower eyelid. This step is all about balance. Don't overdo it. After adding light shades, I gently blend everything smoothly so the eye looks natural and soft. And that's it, our eye is ready. Remember, realistic drawing is not about expensive tools. It's about practice, patience and understanding the basics. This entire drawing can be done with just an HB pencil. Extra pencils like 4B, 8B only helps to add more depth, but the basics matter the most. Take your time, trust the guidelines and keep practicing. Every drawing teaches you something new.
If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe and keep practicing. See you in the next video.